right, welcome back. This is kind of an unconventional addition into our 25 by 25 challenge. We actually just brought number 19, our property over in Seminole Heights that I was telling you guys we were going to wrap, just came full circle. We found an end buyer for this property. He is ecstatic. We made homeownership possible for him, and that is HouseAble's mission. That is the mission of our company, is to provide homeownership opportunities for people when big banks say no. And I am over the moon, kind of emotional, and super proud that I'm able to present some progress towards that in the midst of this challenge, actually, that you guys can see and digest with your own eyes in real time. And later in this video, we are going to be interviewing the buyer for this property at the house, and you'll see kind of what impact it's had on him in his short time that he's been living at the property. Property number 19, fully wrapped. So if you guys recall, when we bought this property, we had about $250,000 of debt. $250,000 of debt at 3.125% interest. That's always a 30-year mortgage. And I think the loan was originated in 2021, meaning that it's already 4 years old. So it's got 26 years left to amortize. And we're paying a lot of principal on this deal. We were in this deal for $40,000. So our total all into this deal is about $290,000. This $40,000 was a private money lender that we borrowed money from to actually get into the deal, do a couple of things to it to make it a little bit more cosmetically appealing, pay for some holding costs, and so on and so forth. So we're in it for $290,000. What we sold it for on the exit is $330,000. Like we've talked about in previous videos, the end buyer is paying tomorrow's price for the property. In the situation of a wrap, we usually mark it up by 10 or 15% just to give ourselves a little bit of cushion. So $330,000 was the price that we settled on. The end buyer was happy to pay that because this is an opportunity that he would not have been allotted otherwise. So that spread right off the bat is plus $40,000 in spread created. So right off the bat, before anything else in this entire deal, talking about a $40,000 spread from what we owe to what our end buyer paid us for this property. What we did was we got super duper funky and creative with this deal. We started with a 1-year lease option, $12,000 as a deposit on that lease option. At the end of the first year of him owning the property, he has the ability to execute that option. His rent for that first year is $2,400 a month. Our monthly payment is just under $1,700 a month, giving us $700 of spread between those two numbers. So first year is $700 of spread between those two numbers for the foreseeable next 12 to 14 months, since we're in November and he has until the end of 2026. This is November 2025, so about 14 months to execute that option. Now, Christian, he works at Amazon and he gets annual bonuses from Amazon in the form of stock option. So Christian is going to contribute $20,000 at the end of his lease option to essentially execute the option and move into the seller finance portion of the deal. So that $20,000 is going to be less than $330,000. So he's gonna have a $310,000 mortgage on this property. Now, what was most important to Christian here is that his monthly payment needed to be somewhere between $2,200 and $2,300 for him to be kind of comfortable with this property. So we came up with a custom schedule to get him to that point, and what we agreed on was a 5.95% interest rate, better than market, on a 40-year amortization, meaning that instead of a 30-year conventional loan, this is actually a 40-year loan. So Christian's paying a little bit more interest every single month, but his payment is lower because it's stretched out over a longer period of time, and he's getting a better than market interest rate, wherein he wouldn't even be able to really qualify for financing traditionally right now. and he's getting a 5.95% rate. So kind of a win-win scenario there. This is one of the things that I know he is super duper happy about. So we are amortizing on a 30-year mortgage at 3.125. He's got a 5.95 on a 40-year mortgage. So the longer he holds this property, remember that the wrap strategy is our rate versus his rate. Now this is just strictly the investor part of this deal. The way that we as investors actually monetize this deal is all of the things we just talked about, which is that $40,000 spread in the beginning of the deal. Now it's our rate versus his rate. Our rate is amortizing faster and it's a lower rate, and his is amortizing slower and it's a bigger rate. So the longer he holds this property, the more profit HouseAble actually makes on this deal. But he has that mortgage rate locked in for the next 40 years if he wants to keep it locked in for that long, which is a huge benefit to him, making it a huge win-win for us here. So a little bit about Christian and why this property made sense for him is that Christian has a growing family. He's living in a 2-bed prior to us working out this arrangement with him. He has other rental properties, which is super promising, and a really, really great job. And so this property was actually in the neighborhood that he was looking to expand to, and it made sense because he needed a little bit more space to house his growing family. He actually turned the property, and if you guys want to reference the previous video on the property, I'll link it for you above. I'm pretty sure he turned it into a 4-bed, 2-bath, or is in the midst of turning it into a 4-bed, 2-bath from a 3-bed, 1-bath. Not only did we make it possible for him to get into this deal, but we made a dramatic impact on his family. And that's what HouseAble's mission is all about. We're gonna go interview Christian now, and we'll see you when we get there. Christian, thanks so much for doing this, man. This is awesome. I'm excited to get this interview in because I know, we've known each other for some time. And I know that this area, this house means so much to you. I know like when we had this under contract way back in the beginning, we kind of figured out our way to get to this point. So kind of talk me through that emotional process of what it means for you to now have that ownership, that equity, equitable interest in this property for you and your family.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like you said, we already came here a few months ago to check it out, already had an interest, already knew what we were potentially going to do with it. Unfortunately, it didn't work out at the time. Everything happens for a reason. Yeah. Everything does. Randomly, my wife's sister is actually coming this Wednesday, so she'll be here on Wednesday in the morning from Puerto Rico, and we were living in a 2-1. It's too small. That's when you and I started the conversation. You had one in Lakeland, I believe. It was a little bit too far away. And then ironically enough, we circled back to this one, which, immediately it's in my buy box. It's in the area that I want to live in. I'm just really familiar with it. And it's big enough to house everyone that's going to be living here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we bought bunk beds for the kids because we were living in a 2-1, split floor plan duplex, so very tiny. So we were gonna have the kids live in the bunk beds to the left side of the room and the sister to the right side of the room. So basically just be able to walk in and turn left or right and go to your bed.
Oh man.
We would have made it work,
yeah.
But obviously this is gonna be a lot better for everyone. And the way things happen, December 3rd, her best friend's coming from Puerto Rico as well. So she'll be taking the little apartment that we're going to build. So it'll be a little family Puerto Rican complex.
Amazing. And if you guys remember from the last video, again, you can watch it right here. I'll link it for you guys. We actually talked about turning that laundry room in there into a bathroom. And I think we had that conversation when we first walked the property together. And I said, hey dude, like you could turn this laundry room into a bathroom. Are you putting the washer dryer hook up on the outside?
Yep, literally. Watched your video and copied everything. I'm using your contractor. Super great guy, came over immediately. Hopefully I'll be able to show you guys. He already did some work, so he's super hungry. He's on top of it. He's working yesterday or the day before 9:30 at night and making sure he gets everything done. And then we're gonna take the bathroom plan that you had and install that so the friend can kind of live with the family but have her privacy at the same time.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Almost like a studio apartment, but without the kitchen.
Correct. Yeah, so if she needs to come in, she can obviously use whatever she needs to use.
Sure.
And then have her piece. Yeah,
that makes sense. I think the audience is probably going to be pretty curious. Like, I told them about the arrangement that you and I have and how it works, and what it means for you, what it means for me. Talk to them, talk to me a little bit about that arrangement and why it makes sense for you given your circumstances.
Yeah, so I'm a high income earner, but have made a lot of mistakes in my life. So, partied for a long time in my 20s, right? Had a great time and racked up like a lot of debt, which made my credit go down.
Sure.
And so I've always been really good at making money, but unfortunately I'm still digging my way out. I was, however, able to traditionally acquire 2 properties on my own and a third with my mom. We used my income and her credit. My mom has perfect credit, just not a high earner, so we make a good team. Now I'm at this point where, I got 2 cars that are financed, right, paying those, and I'm making payments. I'm not behind by any means. Like, we're every month fist bump, we pay all of our properties off, but I can't get a loan to save my life anymore. Yeah. Even though I know what I'm comfortable with. Sure. I know what I would never bite off more than I can chew. Yeah, that's where this is the second deal that you and I have done. Ironically enough, the first deal on Crenshaw, second deal on Crenshaw. Yeah. I just love doing business with you.
I appreciate it,
It's seamless, it's easy. We have trust now. I trust you, I trust your team, which is a big thing when you're doing these subject to properties, right? Like, the last thing I want is for something to go wrong and then me and my family are out in our ass. And then I think vice versa, I can perform. And I have performed for 2 years on the other property. I'm going to do the same thing here.
Yeah, and it's funny, he mentions another property. That was actually a situation where he just bought a subject to deal from us on, ironically, the same street, like all the way that way. And I think you lived in that property for some time. And then you turned it into some sort of rental property, and you're in the process of doing that. And now, you're moving to a bigger property. This one's a little bit bigger. It's got some more space. Talk about some of the things that you've done with the property since you've, came in with your deposit, and, we've made terms agree and you're going to move in. Talk about some of the things that you've done around here.
So we painted the whole house already. Like I said, we are going to add the bathroom. That's the next thing. We're going to add a split AC unit in that room as well, so she can kind of control the temperature. And then what's really cool is when we walked in here, they had like an extra secondary living room or something, or maybe this was the dining room and that was the living room. Don't necessarily need that. Like, you can tell this is really large, so it's big enough for a dining room table. We're probably gonna put that over there. Yeah. And then we'll leave the living room over here. And your contractor was nice enough. He, within 2 days, made a whole nother room out of the secondary living room, whatever you want to call it. And it looks seamless. It looks amazing. It blends right in. Can't even tell. It looks like it was always meant to be there. Right? You can't tell. The hallway looks perfect. The way you did the doorway looks perfect. And if you walked in this house, you would always think it was a 3-1 in the front, and then what we're going to do is build a 1-1 over there. Yeah. And so one of the rooms will be for the kids. We're still going to keep the bunk beds. Right. One room will be for myself and my wife, and then the next room will be for the sister. Gotcha. And so the family will live in the main part of the house, and then our very good friend will live in the secondary part of the house. That's so awesome, dude. Yeah. That's amazing. And what's crazy? This is like you are the embodiment of the person that I'm trying to help do this exact type of thing. We talk about, HouseAble knows that our demographic for first-time home buyers is like damn near 40 years old at this point. Christian's in his early 30s. He's hardworking. Maybe some mistakes in the past that he's still trying to deal with, some demons in the past that we're trying to deal with, and massive improvements towards, buying homes and buying a home for his family, and he has a growing family. I mean, you check every single box of the people that we're trying to serve with our mission and what we're trying to do with HouseAble. And so, I'm just appreciative and a little bit emotional that we actually came to this point where you guys, have found this house, and, it's going to be, for the foreseeable future, I would imagine, the place where you might want to raise your kids. Oh yeah, absolutely. And especially, so one, this neighborhood is actually one of the quietest neighborhoods. When we came the other day to set up the beds, took a walk at 10:30 at night with 2 of the kids, no problems. Neighbors were super nice. We shook hands. They invited me to a party. Like, It's very walkable. There's a golf course really close to here. So I'm a big walk guy. I like to take walks to clear my mentality, and very spiritual. I love the fresh air. There's a lot of greenery around here. Like I said, the kids can play out in the front street. I'm not worried about it. Then we also have that beautiful patio plus the backyard. I'm gonna do a lot of meditation on that little platform out there. I already know myself, so I'm really excited about that too. So this is really, really great for what we're trying to do. I think in this day and age, everything is so unaffordable that you need small communities within a community.
Yeah.
And that's what we've built. You know, of course, everyone wants to live in the penthouse by themselves, but
Yeah.
it's expensive, right? And so what we're doing is we're not only helping ourselves, we're helping everybody else. Everyone's able to come in and help each other out and, you know, live comfortably.
Yeah.
And one thing I'm really, really proud about is this is the first property that my wife will own, right? She signed with me on the dotted line. And for, yes, Puerto Rico is part of the United States, I realize that, but you know, she's still immigrated at 17 years of age, right? And came here with a dream. And now we made that happen, and I'm hopeful that we can make that happen for more people. And I think that's why two of the friends are so comfortable coming here, because they can see the opportunity, they can see what we can do over here, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to live in a country where, you know, everybody can own a piece of the land that they live in. And that's only possible in, you know, certain countries around the world, this country being by far the best in terms of what I can tell. Christian, I mean, you have a pretty unique perspective, and I think the audience needs to hear it if they're in a similar spot to you about, you know, what this opportunity of, you know, owner finance, wraparound mortgages, lease options, all the things that HouseAble can provide for people. You know, if they're hesitant or if they don't think that homeownership is attainable for them, I think something like 67% of people under 30 or under 35 think that homeownership isn't attainable for them. Talk to the audience right now about why it is attainable for them.
Well, that's why it's called creative finance, right? So you want to know that there are other options out there if you don't have good credit, if you don't have a lot of cash to put down, right? A lot of these properties, or if you're not like bankable anymore. I'm not bankable anymore between the 2 cars and the 3 mortgages. I am not bankable. You go in and it doesn't matter who it is, and there's just too much red tape and too much paperwork, and I'm too risky. My DTI is too high. But through Dominic and his team, not only am I able to now live in a place that's more comfortable, that's going to be better for my family, safer for my family, and just I'm excited to build memories here. But it's also legacy. If houses are hard to afford now, what are they going to be in 15, 20 years when my kids are grown?
Yeah.
So a lot of this is to pass down, like, you know, I love that quote, plant the tree whose shade you never plan to sit under. And that's what I'm trying to do right now, right? I'm trying to build community, help people out, help me help people out, and then at the same time, like when we grow older, I can pass this down to my kids.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's a way to secure a financial future as well.
Yeah, I think you know, something that's been really impactful for me, and I keep hearing this and reading this and implementing this, and as time goes by, I can see that it stands true at the test of time. When you prioritize long-term value over short-term gains, those gains that you make over time, the impact that you make over time is so much more profound than going after short-term gains. And I think that society as a whole could benefit by taking that same approach. Okay, you own a home now, day one, okay, you don't have a ton of equity, but you put your foot in the door of owning a property, and that's only going to benefit you the longer you hold the property. That's instant gratification is the society that we live in today, and that's why 92% of Gen Z, you know, lives with their parents or rents. It's just not a sustainable future for our country. And so I think you're a perfect example because you see the future. You know, you have kids, I guess that gives you more perspective on the future because your whole mind shifts. But when we stop thinking about immediate short-term gratification and the long-term value and ramifications of thinking ahead, thinking 5, 10 moves ahead, and where that could put you and your family and the country, if everybody took up that mindset 50 years from now, it's just really profound to think about. And I think you embody that perfectly. And I couldn't be more happy to have done this deal with you. And hopefully do more deals together in the future.
I hope so
if you
too.
Buy, you know, if you're looking to upgrade your property and you want to turn this into a rental, and if there's more Christians out there, we want to help you do the same thing that he did.
What I would like to tell everyone too is, like, whether you like it or not, everybody's in real estate.
Yeah.
What side are you on? Because there's those that are making money off real estate and those that are paying to be in real estate, right? So whether you like it or not, you believe in it, you don't believe in it, you're making someone like me rich, someone like you rich, or you're gaining from it.
Yeah.
You're either gaining or you're losing. And so if you can now, if you think rent is high now, if you think houses are expensive now, it's only historically going to go up. Get your foot in the door now.
It's so true. It is so true. I mean, I mean, you might have watched this. I definitely watched this. Like, my parents bought a house in the late 90s, and that's a huge portion of their retirement plan in their late 50s at this point. And that's attainable for everybody. They just have to be looking in the right spaces to make that happen. And, you know, kudos to you. You figured it out. You know, how old are you? 32, 33, 34? Still 4 years younger than the average first-time home buyer here, so you're gaining ground. I think we're gonna walk around the property a little bit, but man, I really appreciate this.
Yeah, of course. This was completely open. This entire wall right here did not exist. And it's funny because when I walked in, I immediately knew this would be a room, but I don't have the contractor vision for it. I was just like, yeah, put the door right here. He was great. He closed this whole thing up. He said, trust me, I'll show you how it looks like. So this used to be a secondary living room. Already had a vent in it, already had a window, so it already, once it has a door, it's gonna have 2 points of egress, so you know, everything in here that we need. And then if you come in the hallway, so what's really cool is this was all closed in. This did not exist. This was a wall. So like I said, it was open from the side, but this was closed off. So when you came in the hallway, this was always here. You had the bathroom, and then you had these 2 rooms. But as you can tell, it seamlessly fits in. He did a great job with the trim, great job with the door. And if you want to walk in here, and it looks like a room. And like I said, now you're here on the other side, this was all open. This entire wall did not exist. Guys, it's a 2-day job. 2 days, came in, like I said, we were fortunate. The vent was already here, the window was already here, and the cabinetry was as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna plop a bed in here, give her some cabinets so she can put her drawer so she can put the clothes away, and we're good to go.
This is great, man. Look, this is, I mean, if you look at the video from beforehand, this was all like maybe a formal dining room area. That was probably more like the living area and the other room that we were just in. This is probably like the formal dining room, and then the kitchen kind of has like a thing on the side over here. But this is what we call just dead space in the property that you can go ahead and make this type of conversion to, and obviously you've done so. I mean, this property was a 3-1. Now it's gonna be a 4-2 full. This is impressive, man. You did great work in here.
Thank you.
And you know, you've got that window right there.
So there's always options. If the property doesn't work for you, how can you make it work for you? So yeah.
Let's head over to the other, you know, point of addition that you're looking to make in regards to this property. And obviously this is an active construction zone, so we're gonna be stepping over and jumping over tons of stuff. So nothing done with this room yet, but Christian's got big plans, and I'll kind of let him explain what those big plans are, so you guys can get an understanding of what this is gonna be come the next, you know, 2 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, so there's an exterior door over there, so she'll have her own entrance. She'll be able to come through the side from the outside in, so if she doesn't want to see us, she doesn't have to. So exterior door over there, she can come in. The washer dryer was here. We're gonna take Dominic's idea and put the washer dryer on the outside of the wall, and then turn this into like a little bathroom over here. Might be a little bit weird coming in, but again, nothing's ever perfect. But so she'll be entering in here, and then this will be her little studio apartment. We're gonna give her everything that she needs to feel completely comfortable, and we're even gonna add a small kitchenette. No range or nothing not very small.
So it is gonna be a studio apartment.
It's gonna be a full studio apartment. No range, we'll give her like an air fryer, we'll give her a couple hot plates. We do plan on putting a sink in here so she can wash her dishes and stuff like that. So she'll have her own complete setup in here, and split floor plan, 3-1 in the front, 1-1 in the back.
Absolutely incredible.
Multi-family living, yeah.
There you go, you're making it into almost a duplex here. I mean, technically, if you were to move out of this property, you got 2 rentable units as is, you can make some change on this thing, man. So, I mean,
you always have to have the exit strategy in mind, right? So this isn't our forever home. At the end of the day, when I come in, it's not only can I comfortably live here, but when we move out, whether it's 2 or 5 years from now, whatever that may be, will it cash flow?
Yeah.
And the answer is yes.
Absolutely, man. This is great. I really appreciate you for showing everybody what you've done with the place. I know you're kind of early in the process here, and we did see the plan before. You're executing that plan. Obviously that's done too, so definitely appreciate you, bro. This has been great. If you found that video helpful, insightful, impactful, emotional, I want to hear it. I want to hear your reaction to the video. Please drop a comment below. Whatever the first thought you thought about that video, I want to hear it. I will respond to it. Hopefully you got a lot out of it. I mean, Christian was gracious enough to allow us to conduct that interview with him, so you guys can get an insider's look on what it's like to be a buyer for HouseAble, a buyer for this strategy. And if you got value out of this video, like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more, and we'll see you on the next video.